The variation we're going to review next will enable us to match a code on our template onto a surface. What we need to do is to zoom out so we can see the area between chainage 210, which is just after the variation we just added, all the way through to chainage 300. We're also going to make sure that we've got a cross-section window open somewhere between that particular location. So we're simply going to scroll through and find one that's going to be around 260, which puts us nearly in the middle. What we're going to do is match the right footpath outer code, which is this code here, onto the sampled surface, which is in green. Now that happens to be our pasted surface. As we cycle back and forth in the vicinity of that particular cross-section, you can see that the footpath does get very close, but it needs to be exactly on the sampled surface. So to do this, we're going to right-click over the RFPO code, hover over Add Variation. We're going to change something, so we're going to go Modify Section and Match Code to Surface. In there, we can complete the form as follows. Now once you've gone ahead and completed these cells, really most of this is fairly straightforward, making sure that we're picking the pasted surface to match onto. You have the option of an alignment, so for whatever reason, if you wanted to match onto a surface and position the code with an alignment at the same time, you have an optional alignment if you want. You can also choose to remove or add an elevation to the surface once it's matched onto. We'll have a look at the inside code optional once we have created the entry. For the time being, click Apply. You can see that the footpath code has now been matched directly onto the surface, and because of that, the batter code is in exactly the same position. So if we cycle back through our cross sections, we can see we have now a varying footpath crossfall. If we wanted to keep the crossfall of the footpath the same, but match back onto the surface at the footpath edge, we can do that. If we right-click anywhere in the cross-section window, click on Open Section Design Data. In there, we can see the entry we just added. The inside code optional will allow us to maintain the original section slopes back to a code of our choosing. We may be happy to vary the verge, but we don't want to vary the slope of the footpath. So what we're going to tell it to do is to keep the slope back to the right footpath inner, and then click Apply. That maintains the 2.5% crossfall back towards the carriageway, but then we'll change the verge that's going on in here. So if we cycle back through, we should see that there, particularly at chainage 270, we have quite a steep verge, but the crossfall of the footpath is going back in the direction that we want. Let's close down the section design data form and then have a look at the results in Model Viewer.